If you've never been through this rivalry before, it sounds just like what everybody else says about their rivalry. Until you live this and until you see the pit pack, I just don't think people realize that this one can get pretty special. It can get pretty intense.
What exactly makes a great rivalry? In New Mexico, we love our food, so let's look at it like ingredients to a recipe. Start off with the basics.
I got that belief in myself, so every time I go out there, I'm gonna try and ball out.
History and tradition.
I've always said New Mexico is kind of a fighter state, right? Like whether it's combat sports, MMA, boxing, obviously the history of Johnny Tapia. Just being a fight state speaks to New Mexico so well.
The foundation of a great recipe that hasn't changed over years is what makes it special. Adding some flavor.
Wide open, 3 for House. Yes.
I ain't had to do too much talking after I got the tech. The game was already speaking for itself.
Connection.
I know Q got the most bounce in the gym, so just throw it up. He's gonna get it.
Two-hand rip.
The similarity.
Like, we know the ball provides so much energy for every player on the court.
And finally, the spice.
I ain't gonna lie, I like when older guys talk because I'm young and you talking to me. It's kind of crazy because you're older and I'm a young guy coming in. That means I'm obviously doing something right, you're not.
Now that you got your ingredients, mix those with the sold-out pit on a Saturday night, and you have yourself a rivalry.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini, guitarist. They talking about me like I am a thesaurus. Got some boys in the hood, I ain't talking about more. We gon' take everything in your house, get a mortgage. I need some glory, I feel like I'm Morgan, no Freeman. I drop a new song on my friends, know they geeky.
One of my favorite players of all time, be it today, 10 years ago, 20 years from now, whatever, is going to be Jalen House forever.
Spinning, firing, baseline right. Go!
Jalen House does things on the court that you haven't seen before. If you're into a decade plus of covering a basketball team, you've seen almost everything.
Wide open, triple on the way. You bet. Out the high right-hand bounce. Bounce it between the legs to Washington. His three
I've
is
seen
short.
what Jalen House does on a nightly basis. He does at least one thing that just looks weird, looks different, looks awkward, and I love it.
Honestly, though, like, when I was a little kid, I used to, like, love watching wrestling. So I think that's where, like, my personality comes from, watching wrestling.
Who was your favorite wrestler?
Thank you. I like Randy Orton.
Too many times. You gotta be kidding me! Oh, did he do it? Wait a minute! Who the hell is that? Who is that? That's Randy
Like, as I started to get older, I kind of like Randy Orton, how he carried himself. He's kind of like,
Randy Orton!
if you watch his matches, like, he kind of crazy.
Not off the top rope! Yeah, off the top!
Like how I am on the court.
5 for 5, and he's still perfect from the yard. House spin to the rim. Layup is good, and he's fouled. And the pit erupts.
So, like, I guess we kind of relate in that way.
I can't believe we made it this far. I can't believe we made it this far. Maybe the skies. Maybe the line. I can't believe I made it this far. Tell you how I feel, tell you how I feel. Let the real speak, let the fake it.
As much as I think this roster this year at UNM is really talented, and I like these guys a lot that I get to cover. The UNM Lobo basketball program is really about the people and about the pit, but the program itself is about so much more than, sounds cheesy, it kind of sounds like coach speak, but the program's really about so much more than any one player, any one coach. It's about what happened Saturday. It's when 15,000 plus come together because their rallying cry is sort of the Lobo basketball team. That's what they're all fighting behind and coming to see. And that's why this rivalry I do think is different, because I think the people more than the players of this state really buy into it.